What's up, everybody? I'm Nick.
And I'm Cody.
And we are here with another episode of the Raw Smack Wrestling Podcast. And we're here to talk about Raw, Smackdown, and Elimination Chamber.
So much excitement for the Chamber that is going to be so predictable. Anyway.
Did you say so predictable?
It's going to be so predictable. Anyway, if you guys enjoy the podcast, make sure to... I should probably say, you can find this podcast on all the major providers. I was doing like the outro and during the intro type deal. Cause,
Cody's an idiot. Anyway, starting with
Shut
Raw
up.
this past week.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of out of it right now.
Now, once again, I watched this on Hulu. So, if there's anything that they cut out that's important, Cody's watched it.
I will be here.
He will be here to fill in the blanks for me.
Blanks.
Anyways, the show starts off with Miz talking shit with Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Of course, it's the comment, hey, you're out here talking shit. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to smack you. Drew ends up hitting him. Miz then removes himself from the Elimination Chamber.
Yes, and a move that I find, I don't think it's supposed to make sense, but I don't think it really makes sense.
But hold on. Here's what makes me mad about this. Here's what makes me really mad about this, though. So you're telling me that Miz is allowed to remove himself from the Elimination Chamber, but Roman isn't?
The Roman isn't even in an Elimination Chamber.
I know, but
deal.
That was the whole deal of it. Is he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be in this Elimination Chamber match. You can go screw yourself." So they're not making
the champion.
They're
making him defend it. But at the same time, Miz's the whole reasoning for him to not want to be in the match is because it's the Chamber. What's the point? Here he has the guaranteed title shot, and I'm like, that still doesn't make sense because. Yeah, you have a guaranteed shot, but you could just win it there. Just because you have a guaranteed shot at a different time doesn't mean you can't win the Chamber. Well, obviously, he was going to win the Chamber anyway, but still. Yeah. Anyway, Miz actually factors into some predictions I have, but we will address that later on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Something auto-corrected in my notes, but basically Miz wants Morrison to replace him. But for whatever reason, the autocorrect in my notes put Miz says Morrison, Chili's replace him.
What the fuck?
I don't know what I typed in that the phone would have said Chili's, but
well, I don't know either. That's really weird, brother.
Yeah, that was messed up. But yeah, anyways, Miz is trying to convince Adam Pearce to let Morrison replace him in the Chamber. Apart from that, Adam Pearce was like, let me think about it, Cuts to another Bad Bunny interview. Why?
Oh, my God.
I said, I'm not... What?
I think... Yeah. Wait, the Bad Bunny interview. Is that not in my note? Because I think the Bad Bunny stuff happened later.
No? I went through, I wrote all the notes down in order as I watched the show.
Is there a six-man tag team match between the Hurt Business and Lucha House Party and Riddle on your notes? Well, that doesn't make sense because that's actually somewhat important because of the match at Elimination Chamber. But anyways, then I will talk about this. There was a six-man tag match, but before that happened, Riddle had some conversations with Lucha House Party backstage, and it was again... Matt Riddle is the perfect example of a wrestler who is pretty good in the ring, but his character, his gimmick is so bad that you just want to fucking stop watching. It's like every time I watch a Matt Riddle match, I'm like, he's a pretty good wrestler. If only he had a different freaking gimmick, I would actually get into this. But I always say it's better for a wrestler to have no character and just be really, really good in the ring because there's been really good wrestlers and successful wrestlers that had no personality but still somehow were pretty good. I consider Bret Hart one of those people that really didn't have much of a personality or a gimmick but was really fucking good.
He didn't need to because he's he's one of the best, technical wrestlers there's ever been.
Benoit, Bryan, really, as much as I like Daniel Bryan, like these are guys that are technical wrestlers, and that's what gets them over. I think Riddle it would be better if he was one of those guys. Instead, he's the guy that has the in-ring talent, and his gimmick is so bad that it's worse than being a no personality type of person. But anyway, there's a 6-man tag match. It's a pretty decent match for what it is. If I remember correctly, the Lucha House Party and Riddle won. Yes, they did. But again, Lashley came out and wrecked everyone, which made me happy because seeing Riddle get just ragdolled is just hilarious. But that is apparently a match that Nick didn't get to see, which I'm assuming you probably were very happy about because no Matt Riddle. I'm starting to have this down to a T. It's all the stuff that you would hate is not on the broadcast. At the same time, you're probably very happy.
Don't put that in. All right. Anyway, so continuing from that, the Bad Bunny interview. Overall, like I said,
I guess it technically
What?
No, okay, no, that's what you were talking about earlier. When you were talking about the Miz backstage. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, he has a little interview. What the heck's his name? Damian Priest, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He shows up. They're talking. Looking like two goobers. Once again, we have a 24/7 title change. Bad Bunny ends up pinning for the 24/7 title, making that title even dumber than it was before.
I wonder if he showed up to Saturday Night Live yesterday with the stupid title.
Who knows? I don't care. After that, we cut to once again another back scene interview. Kofi wants in the chamber.
Which I guess kind of makes sense. He is a former WWE champion, so
yeah, that was the whole excuse for it. Miz comes on, gets pissy because he wants Morrison in there. And it comes down to, Adam Pearce going, hey, Kofi, you're going to face Miz. If Kofi wins, he's in. If Miz wins, Morrison's in. And of course, Kofi wins. Morrison's.
That's later on, but. Yeah, well, to be fair, I as much as I like Morrison, if we're going with a theme for this match, I much prefer Kofi to be the match.
And honestly, he gets shit on so much, man. And
he's not going to get pushed in WWE. He should have stayed in Lucha Underground.
He needs to get a push. It's complete crap.
Well, I don't know. I was always a Morrison fan, but I'm not that much of a Morrison fan where it really bothers me.
I'm not now because they've ruined him with sticking him with dumb tag teams.
To be fair, this dumb tag team was his biggest tag team besides Eminem when he was under a different name, so
that's sad.
But
yeah, anyways, continuing on from that,
oh god.
Another freaking
God.
It was a talk show.
Oh wait, talk show?
Wait, what did you
No
have?
way. No way. Wait.
No, that's on there. You have the Charlotte and Asuka talk with Lacey and Peyton first.
Oh, yeah, that happened before the match, didn't it? Okay, never mind.
I'm not even going to go into this. They just shit-talk each other. Why Peyton is here, I do not know. They go out, they all face off and everything. The whole match, Peyton's in there. At one point, Peyton goes to tag Lacey in, and she whispers in her ear. You see this complete, utter shock on her face. She turns around without tagging her in, goes back to wrestling. They wrestle a little more. So at one point, Peyton, for whatever reason, slaps Lacey's hand. Charlotte's sitting here like, come on, you're going to get in the ring. And she goes to charge her. Lacey gets down off the ring and says, you're not going to put your hand on me. And then...
please don't say it. It didn't happen.
Proclaims that she is pregnant. And Ric Flair,
oh no, God, no! It just
I can't decide on his face because it's the face of I don't know if it's him going, oh, you're actually pregnant, congratulations, or he turns around
I'm a daddy.
I stuck my penis in you, he was shocked,
Oh, God,
and then he starts woo woo.
The sad thing is, this is not entirely just a
so
a storyline.
I don't know
possibly.
if it's confirmed, but rumor has it is Lacey is actually pregnant with another child from her actual husband outside of the WWE. But because
and this all happened the day of the show,
because they put so much into this dumb storyline that we didn't want to just drop it.
It's just last week we were moving away from they're not sleeping together.
Yeah.
This is professional. And then the week after, because
Lacey wanted to be like Becky.
Pregnant, it's like it's just just the thought of fucking Ric Flair
I know it completely ruins my imagination on Lacey,
which is weird. I think Charlotte actually is a decent actor. Just the look in her face, that's disgusting. What the fuck,
right?
that woman is gonna have Lacey one mommy. Of my brothers or sisters,
shoot. Anyways, continuing off of that dumb stuff. Once again, we have Sheamus, another person talking. Sheamus talks about the chamber, and he's gonna win, and he's gonna beat people, and it's the same old. Miz faces off versus Kofi. Kofi beats Miz and there's a chamber match. And then we get to Randy talking about the chamber match and the gauntlet match. He's rambling on, and then look at this. Yeah, Alexa Bliss appears. Oh gosh.
I got. Oh my god.
Nice little segment of her staring off into the void and laughing. Well, my god, this is just a talk show. I swear to God, dude, this is one giant talk show.
What? Wait, talking to the void. Are we talking about Alexa Bliss playing with ashes as she's sitting in the middle of a fucking pentagram?
Yes.
Doing some kind of satanic shit.
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck? This is a wrestling show, right? There's only one person that's ever pulled this shit off, and it was at least cool, and it was Undertaker. This shit is just so fucking
Look,
dumb.
I'm not going to trash on it right now. I'm going to wait until
it finishes. It's not her fault. This is just bad writing.
It's not terrible. Let it finish out.
I think it is.
Let it finish out, because the finish of it could make the whole segment of everything absolutely great. At the same time, it could disprove to what it actually is, and it's completely stupid. But I'm gonna wait till the Fiend comes back and see how they do it. Because there's talks that apparently she's gonna get her own mask. So we'll see. Anyways,
she's creepy enough without one.
Yeah. Continuing from that, we get Braun Strowman talking the chamber match.
Looks like
what we missed something else.
Yeah, you missed Lana and Naomi versus Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax. Oh, sorry. Lana with Naomi as a manager versus Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax. And the match was dumb.
Yeah, what Cody said. We had technical difficulties.
Okay, that's one way to do it. I just
anyways.
Anyway.
With Braun talking the chamber match. Nothing big there.
Yeah. That was just where to cut off, by the way. Did I at least did our discussion about the stupid match happening?
I have no clue. I think it stopped right when you started talking about
Lana wrestled Shayna Baszler. It was dumb. Shayna destroyed her. That's about the gist of it. It just
okay. So we're still on to destroying Lana. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, Braun
gotta punish her for her husband wrestling for AEW, right?
Right. Wanting to be in it. I don't even think they let him in it, to be honest. They didn't say anything more of it. He was just like, I'm going to fucking destroy people.
I think he would be a good person in that match as well. But
it could be.
Maybe I'm starting to think I might hate Jeff Hardy, by the way. And we'll get on to this during this gauntlet match. I think just about anyone would be a better replacement than Jeff Hardy at this point in his career. But you can continue.
Anyways,
I know.
Get to the gauntlet match.
Jeff Hardy's my Rey Mysterio.
Look, if you ever say that again, I will find you and I will beat you. I'm not saying Jeff has definitely fallen from his high grace of when he was awesome, but he will never be Rey Mysterio. Don't you dare. Anyways, to the gauntlet match. We start off with we have AJ talking.
Oh, it's a bad promo. It's a bad promo.
Yeah,
don't even mention it.
Promo. Anyways,
I love AJ, match, but that was a terrible promo.
It starts off with AJ Styles versus Kofi. Basically they wrestle a little bit. at one point, I don't know his name. AJ
Omos.
Styles is a big guy.
Omos.
Is that his name? Okay,
yeah.
Sure. He ends up getting ejected from the match.
Yeah.
Which was kind of stupid because they ejected him, but they didn't eject Xavier Woods.
Right.
Yeah, so once again, one of those, hey, we're going to do this and not make it look right. After his guy left, AJ ends up beating Kofi, and Drew comes out next. Drew just commences to more or less beating the shit out of AJ.
It was actually pretty good. Every Drew match during this gauntlet was pretty good, in my opinion. It was all good.
Anyways, Drew ends up beating AJ. Jeff then just comes out after AJ's out. They have a nice little match. Surprisingly, let Jeff get over on Drew a lot. I was actually surprised by that.
I was not a big fan of that at all.
But I seen where they were going with this because they wanted to make it look like, Drew was beat up.
Oh yeah,
and we'll come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that at the
unrelated
end of this
to the actual match, but and this is not even really wrestling related a whole lot, but Jeff Hardy just proved to me how much I hate gauges, and the fact that he took out his gauges, how his ears fucking looked during some of those close-up shots, physically made me nauseous. I'm sorry. Yeah. If you want to do that, that is fine, but I find that shit really disgusting. Like, keep that in your ear or something.
It happens. Anyways, they have a nice little match. Drew ends up beating Jeff. Randy comes out to face Drew, one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, yes, it's so fucking stupid.
Now, okay, so basically what happens is Randy's outside of the ring.
Yeah, beating the shit out of Drew at first.
Yeah, beating the shit out of Drew. Drew gets put back in the ring. All of a sudden, Alexa Bliss is popping up again on the screens.
All of the screens, yes.
Yes, all of the screens. Now, mind you, Randy's outside the ring. The ref's counting.
This ref knows how to count. Yes.
Huh?
This ref knows how to count.
He skipped 4 numbers.
Did he?
Yeah, he went straight from 6 to 10.
Are you sure? I could swear I heard him count all of them. Then shit, no referees can count.
I'll have to go back and watch it again, but I'm pretty sure from when I was watching it, you heard him go 4, 5, and you heard him say 6, and then you heard nothing, and then all of a sudden it was, Randy Orton has been eliminated by countout.
I could swear he said all the numbers and all that, but maybe I'm just misremembering it.
I'll go back and watch it again, and if I'm wrong, we'll come back next week and I'll apologize to that referee. But from what I heard,
referees don't know how to count.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So basically, Randy gets counted out. Sheamus comes in from behind Drew and attacks him. They have. I'm not going to call it a good match. It was more or less a beatdown. The whole reasoning of Drew coming out so early was to have everybody kick his ass. So
Sheamus
ends up beating Drew to be the last entrance in the chamber. I think it's stupid that they announced that because now the only shock factor in this match is going to be who's number 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Because by the time the 4th person's out, you're going, all right, well, that person's 5th and that person's 6th.
That's a fair point, actually. I never gave it much thought.
It takes out the whole Elimination Chamber. Like the biggest thing about Elimination Chamber is a lot of people think
it's not uncommon for them to announce who's going to be the 6th person anyway, though.
Okay, but when it first started out,
it was supposed to be completely random. One of the biggest things
was you didn't know who was coming out. Now you knew who the 6th person was by the end.
No, you knew who the 6th person was. I believe Kane was in the first elimination. Well, not the first one.
I don't know. I remember
the one I always think of.
That.
I don't know.
But Sheamus then goes up the ramp and starts talking shit to Drew, like, "Oh yeah, I beat you. I'm gonna beat you this Sunday. I'm number 1."
He's not gonna win.
And the whole time I'm going, "Look, Sheamus, I like you. I loved you in Ninja Turtles. But look, man, you beat a guy who faced 4 other people and had his ass kicked the whole time, like." How much? And then you attacked him from behind. You didn't even face him in a fair fight. You hit him while he was distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Got a rating for this show?
1.
1, really?
1 out of 5. Yep. Look, I am tired
2 out of 10.
all the
so
talking.
2 out of 10. Okay. Remember, we do the shows out of 10s, matches are out of 5.
I do this every week. Yeah. I have to. So okay, no, I'm still giving it a 1 out of 10.
Oh.
Fuck this Raw. Yes, I said the F word. I'm sorry if you people are offended by it.
I'm pretty sure we've cursed plenty on this podcast.
Probably. But look, I am tired of talk shows. Get the matches going, give me good storylines, and stop letting everybody talk. Because there was plenty of people that talked on Raw this past week that should not have been talking because they're terrible. And their segments are terrible.
Smackdown was worse.
Look, if we cut down on the talking, Raw wouldn't have to be that long.
Why do you think there's so much talking? Well,
but
you gave it a 1.
Yeah, apart from that, yep.
I'll give it a... I'll give it a 2. I guess I'm nicer. Which is weird because I was complaining more before we even started. I just there was some things I liked, a lot of things I hated. I'll give it a 2. It was not entertaining. The only interesting part was the gauntlet match, in my opinion. That was the only interesting part of the show. So good on them.
Anyways,
moving over to SmackDown.
On to SmackDown, yeah. Cody's taking this one.
So this is not SmackDown. This is the Edge show. As the last couple weeks have really shown, I am not much of an Edge hater. I'm pretty much okay with him being in the spot he's in. Nick's not. You've gotten to a point where me, the person that's making excuses for Edge, was like, this is way too much Edge, because this entire show was Edge after segments. But anyway, we'll start. You'll just understand. The show starts with Edge. He comes out in a promo talking about, how he's gonna, choose his opponent, and he's the opportunist, and he's got so many people to choose from, and so many things could change, and that's why he hasn't chosen anyone. And Roman comes out, they have their whole face-to-face thing, and Roman's like, you're gonna choose me, for the main event of WrestleMania, because, he is the main event. And basically, it's a whole thing where Edge is saying you're like insecure, yada yada yada, and it's an okay promo, but at the same time, it just plays into all the worst parts that I hate about WWE, and it's these opening show promos, and it's just I like opening show promos. I just would like a match, occasionally to start the show,
right?
This is a wrestling show, right? But anyway, they have their whole spiel. Sami Zayn comes out and does his whole thing about being disrespected by WWE management and being disrespected by Edge and Roman and yada, yada, yada. That he's going to, win the chamber match and, win the title. And it's just... I don't know about you. I know you like Sami Zayn. What do you feel about Sami Zayn's whole, conspiracy theory thing?
I love it just because it's Sami Zayn himself, but I think they are overplaying into it and using it too much.
Yeah.
They've done it with plenty of wrestlers before, where they get this gimmick that at first everybody's like, "Oh, that's pretty funny, that's pretty good," and then the WWE takes that and they inject it with steroids.
Yeah. Anyway, Uso hits him, kicks him. I forget what it was. Honestly, I don't remember how and what he did, whether it was a super kick or whatnot, but he hits him, he goes down, and it was a super kick, my notes. Moving on, we have Big E coming down to the ring, and he's on commentary eating a microwavable dinner. Oh my god. I'm starting to think all the worst parts of the New Day has now just been forwarded onto Big E, which is just infuriating.
Wait,
as
hold
someone...
on.
It's just, yes.
He's eating a microwavable dinner?
Yep, with his feet in a massage machine and a blanket on top. Yep. This is supposed to be a wrestling show, mind you. And
Biggie, what's happened to you? Anyways.
The worst part's a New Day. That's what's happened, And that's what is just infuriating. I like Big E, but it's like all the bad stuff with New Day, he's got most of it around him all the time. Not to say Kofi and Xavier aren't doing that New Day stuff over on Raw. It's not as much, so it's not as annoying. But there's a backstage interview with Apollo, and I'm just tired of this feud. And again, this show is mostly talking as well. Go-home shows are always like this to a certain extent, but SmackDown was even worse than Raw. SmackDown was literally almost all talking, in my opinion. Every other thing was a backstage segment or a talk show, which we'll get to that later on because there's an actual talk show, which Raw had its own stuff as well. But that feud's still happening. Shinsuke and Apollo are having a match. It's just Shinsuke wins. Apollo gets mad and he attacks both Shinsuke and Big E after the match. Big E gets hit with stairs and whatnot, and he gets put on a stretcher, and he's stretchered out until into an ambulance throughout the show. I'd like to see what that storyline goes. I really am not a fan of the idea of Apollo becoming champion as much as I'm not a fan of Big E at the moment. Apollo is no better in terms of he's bland right now.
Yeah, he's another wrestler that the WWE has ruined.
Yes, he seemed like he had a lot of potential when we had the cruiserweight stuff happening, and I'm getting a call in the middle of doing a podcast. Man, I should probably send a message saying I am busy.
The one time somebody in this world called you.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying after I was interrupted by Facebook? Which is
talking about Apollo Crews.
Yeah, thank you. This is why there's two of us. Because I just go into rants. But anyway, yeah, he attacked him. Oh, about how he was more interested when we had the Cruiserweight Classic and the Cruiserweights were starting to become a thing. And, his early things was pretty interesting.
And then we shoved him over to 205 Live.
Yeah. And then he just got lost in the shuffle. And then...
You mean the fucking 205, death arenas?
Yeah, 205 is death to all those guys. Every single cruiserweight, which I thought was going to, become a thing again, where smaller guys will be able to have, some exciting, high-octane matches. I'm not saying just a bunch of flips, but, more just ultra-competitive matches. We're going to be in WWE again, and then, again, what happens anytime there's cruiserweights on any show, besides early WCW where they were used, they just had a glass ceiling. WWE doesn't know how to use cruiserweights, which is just, again, not really fucking surprising. You have to be fucking Braun Strowman sized or, just look like a metalhead, like Damian Priest, because it's obvious he's getting a push. But anyway. Moving on. Oh, yeah. As Big E's being wheeled back, Seth Rollins comes out with his whole spiel, and...
Ooh.
I don't like the Seth Rollins. He's somehow worse than the Messiah. I don't know how to explain what this new gimmick is, but this is the worst Seth Rollins I've ever seen in my life. I'm not a fan, and I don't even know how to explain. Like, it's a weird promo. Like, I want to explain what it is, but.
He's a dad now. It's different.
No, that's exactly what it is. He's supposed to be like this delusional good guy, but he's still a bad guy, obviously. Like, and he's like the most annoying character, and not in a good way. Like, he's kind of like, I don't. He's
not
like
everybody can be your Sami Zayn,
He's like a worse version of Miz. The Miz just does it so well, where he's a family man, but he's such a good prick on TV that you can't help but love the Miz. Seth Rollins is...
man, I find the Miz quite...
He's the only real heel in WWE, in my opinion, but that is my opinion. But, what was I going to say? Anyway, he does his whole spiel about how everyone walked away from him last week, and he felt disrespected, yada, yada, yada. And apparently... His new fucking, catchphrase is going to be embrace the vision and all that stuff. What vision are we talking about? Dude needs some fucking glasses. Anyway, Kevin
needs some fucking glasses.
Kevin Owens is backstage, and here comes the Edge show. From this moment on, after every segment is Edge. After, like, literally, so Kevin Owens is backstage and talks to Edge, and, you know, this is going to be where every guy is going to be like, hey, Edge, you're going to face me when I win the Chamber and beat Roman, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So when I say Edge promo, that's what it was. I'll just mention who was in the promo, but every single one after this is that. You're going to face me. Except for one of them, which was the only one I liked. Anyway, we move on to the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. The Riot Squad gets squashed. I feel sad for the Riot Squad. I don't even want to talk about this match because at the same, it's proven that somehow, like, I like Natalya and Tamina's okay, but damn, the Riot Squad looked like they were at least going somewhere at one time, and now they are just getting buried left and right.
Yep.
But you know, it is what it is. Here comes the only Edge segment after a match and before one, that I like, and he's backstage with Corbin, and he tells Edge that this feels like WrestleMania's main event. He tells Edge that he made his name on Smackdown, but now it's his show, being Corbin. The next time he sees someone, because Corbin's dressed really nice, in a $10,000 suit and a $34,000 timepiece, his watch, that they should bow down, like he should bow down. And Edge is like, he also has a timepiece or a watch, and he just pulls out his fucking cell phone and starts going like, yeah, it tells time, and he can surf the web and all that stuff. And it just made me laugh, because that exactly would be my fucking response to someone, be like, yeah, I got this $34,000 Rolex, bro. And I'd be like, you know, it's a really nice timepiece. And I'd be like, pull out my phone and be like, this tells time as well. Who cares? Anyway, we move on to a actual talk show with Ding Dong Hello with Bayley, with her guests Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Oh wow, another talk show! Surprising.
It was dumb. It was really dumb. I don't even want to talk about this. Reginald comes out, then Sasha comes out. Somehow Reginald is more important than all the women on the roster, in my opinion, or at least on the SmackDown side. Oh yeah, Bianca came out as well. Instead of focusing on Sasha and Bianca and just about anyone else, I feel like we're focusing on Reginald. I find Reginald really dumb. We'll get on to that in a second, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's a match afterwards. Reginald, Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Bayley. Reginald, Sasha Banks, and Belair win. By the way, it just... Reginald pinned Nia Jax. Part of me wants to be like, yeah, Nia Jax got pinned. The other part of me is like, by Reginald? Really? Nia Jax may not have much functioning strength and constantly injures people. Nia Jax would literally just have to set on Reginald. He is like smaller than small. He's not even a cruiserweight. He is just a small person. And not a very good wrestler. Or like he can do flippy flips. He's not a real wrestler in my eyes. And, you know, his promos are laughable. Yeah. Anyway, we move on to a backstage segment with Cesaro, and it's a pretty good promo. Cesaro talks about Seth Rollins, that whole ordeal, but he's more talking about his momentum going into main event in the main event of the show tonight in the Chamber. Because there's a 3-on-3 tag that he's in, the faces versus the heels. Anyway.
Oh, so we get to see the match before the match. Okay.
Yeah, obviously. What are you talking about? This is WWE. Anyway, then Edge comes in. Edge promo. That's all I have to say. Then we move on to Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus Otis and Chad Gable. Winners by disqualification, Rey and Dominic, after just Gable has Otis destroy Rey Mysterio, and I mean destroy him. That big boy just landing on Rey Mysterio all left and right. I've yet to figure out if Otis is a heel or if he's just really dumb. I could go either way on this. I don't like Otis, but
why not both?
I think it is.
Talk
both.
about a guy who was getting a push and just.
I'm glad he's not getting a push anymore. I didn't like the push in the begin with. He sucks.
It started off fine, and then it just turned to shit.
But anyway, move on. Edge promo. This one with Daniel. That's all I'm gonna say with these promos because again, it's the same promo, just different people. Back from commercial, Ray's being attended by his son and officials. Cesaro and Bryan are backstage, and in comes Kevin, and they're supposed to be talking about strategy. Basically, Bryan's been like, he was talking with Cesaro about being wary of Kevin because Kevin just stunned everyone last week. And Kevin's like, it's not going to happen. I want to win this match. But afterwards and on Sunday, probably going to happen. And it's an okay little thing. Backstage segment with, I almost said segment, which is really weird. Carmella is backstage, and in comes Reginald with a glass of wine. And he pisses her off somehow. I'm gonna be honest. When Reginald is on screen, I literally do tune out. I don't even know how I do this, but it's like this thing where you're looking at something, but you're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
But Carmella ends up dumping wine in his face or something because she gets mad. I honestly don't know why.
Probably because he keeps going out and defending Sasha.
Yeah, I think he's not doing his job right is what the gist of it was. And he was, because he's obviously focused on, being in love with Sasha or whatever the hell is happening. Anyway, then we got the heels versus the faces, 3-on-3 tag match. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro. This is a very good match. This is the only shining spot of the night. It was a pretty decent match, and it was, again, showing that Cesaro is getting pushed. He'll probably win the Chamber match, but lose to Roman. But it is a very good match. The only bad part of the match was, so Cesaro was doing his swing thing against Sammy. He ended that, and then Corbin got tagged in. He started to do it, but I think Corbin was either he was exhausted because he swung Sami Zayn around for a while, or he was just having trouble at first. I don't know whose fault it was, whether it was Cesaro or it was Corbin. They go to commercial. They come back from it. He figured it out because he's swinging freaking Corbin around for a good 10 seconds back from commercial. So whoever's problem it was, it's pretty obvious they went to commercial to hide that fact because I think they intended for him to be swinging him to start the commercial or start going into commercial, and then they were supposed to come back and he's supposed to still be swinging him. But it was pretty obvious that Cesaro was just having trouble. Whoever's fault it was, who knows. Anyway, Daniel Bryan ends up, submitting Sami Zayn at the end of the match in a nice little sequence where he goes to the top rope and double underhook suplexes Sami off of it, and then transitions into an armbar and then rolls into the yes lock. The cross space, whatever you want to call it. And they win. Bryan celebrating. And again, the production team screwed up because they showed that Baron Corbin was in the ring waiting for his cue. Because obviously he thinks, they're showing the replays right now. He's behind Bryan because obviously he's going to attack, and then start the whole finisher fest that then go home shows that this always have.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's just waiting for the go ahead. And I think the announcers noticed that the broadcast fucked it up too because they actually pay attention more to their monitors than actually looking up, and they're like, yeah, they fucked up. Anyway, they move on. He hits Bryan with the end of days, then he gets hit with a finisher, then the next person gets hit with the finisher, yada yada yada, until Jey Uso hits a super kick. He gets speared by Edge, and the Edge gets speared by Roman Reigns, and it's pretty clear what's going to happen. And that is SmackDown.
All right.
It was a dumb show. I'm bet you're glad.
Like a dumb show.
I'm
glad I didn't watch it. Yes, people. That's why Cody's talking. I haven't had a chance to watch it because Hulu, wants to wait 2 days to put it on Hulu.
Yeah, it just Hulu can be a pain.
Yeah. Anyways, continuing. Or what was your rating? Of the show?
So, the main event was good. I liked the main event. That is the only thing I liked of the show. It is a 1. A 1 out of 10. This is the Edge show with constant talking. Based on my description,
same problems.
Yeah, based on my description, what would you have given it if you had actually had to watch this?
Probably a 1.
It's just like, I like Edge. You made me hate Edge for a second.
I take that back. I'd give it a 2 just off the fact that Corbin cracks me up with how dumb he is.
Oh yeah. The Corbin had unintentionally the 2 best moments of the show, or 3 best moments. And now my dog is running a lot. But anyway.
Anyways, continuing on to predictions and talking about the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Anyway. So, I'm just going to name off the matches here, and we'll give our opinions, on who we think is going to win and what's going to happen with it. The Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
I think Sasha and Bianca are gonna win.
I think they will too.
Because it looks like Nia and Shayna Baszler are starting to get like a little iffy with each other, and they're just gonna go into WrestleMania. It's like, oh, they're tag team champions, and they're gonna wrestle, for that title. And it's gonna be dumb. I get a feeling this is gonna be relegated to the pre-show. Because this championship means nothing.
Like it did last month with the Royal Rumble. All right. I agree with that. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, taking the win over Nia and Shayna. United States Championship triple threat match. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee.
And we don't know if Keith is going to be the match because they had mentioned, because of the attack the previous week, that Keith is questionable.
You mean he's going to show up pissed off?
Yeah. You can make your prediction first for this one.
If that's the case, what I think is going to happen is I think Lashley and Riddle will start the match off thinking Keith Lee's not going to be there. I think they'll have their match, and I think Keith Lee's going to come out like halfway through the match or at the end. I say Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee will take it.
As much as I want to say that, it is pretty well documented backstage that Vince does not like Keith Lee and doesn't get Keith Lee. Which I can understand certain things. His promo work has to be desired.
I'm saying if that's the way that match goes, if I'm looking at the way WWE runs things right now, Lashley's not losing this title.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Lashley's going to win. I don't see them putting the belt on Riddle. Riddle's going to be the new R-Truth, except a better wrestler and not as funny. Because R-Truth is legitimately funny.
Alrighty. Continuing on the next match, the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka versus to be announced.
Because Lana was supposed to be in that. Not Lana, Lacey. Yeah, Lana, Lacey gets
so now here's the thing.
Becky Lynch.
I think it's gonna be Becky, but my problem with that is like I said, I think she's gonna come back and go after SmackDown because that's where her hubby is, or soon to be hubby. Sorry, they're not married yet. And I think Bianca's going to Raw and is going to face her. At WrestleMania, of course. Now, it could be different. They could keep them on the separate rosters. Overall, if it's going to be Becky, okay, cool.
To be fair, your prediction assumes that right now there's no traveling. WrestleMania is going to be the only live show, probably, except for pay-per-view. So realistically, Raw and SmackDown are not separated. It's in the same building. So they can be on different rosters. True. Right now.
This is true.
And once people are allowed in stadiums again, like for Raws and SmackDowns, then they'll be on the same show probably.
Anyway, so I agree with you. I think it's going to be Becky Lynch with Seth coming back here in the past couple of weeks. That means that at some point they were ready to return.
Yep.
I just think she needed that extra couple of weeks off to.
Well, yeah.
She just had a baby.
Yeah.
She's going to want to be near the baby. She's going to have to get her body back in shape, all that fun stuff. But it's been enough time to where I think she could come back.
Probably. It'd be a shorter match.
And if she does, I see her winning.
Oh yeah. I don't think Asuka's going to be champion much longer.
Well, like I said, she's a title holder. Or a placement holder. Sorry.
Yeah, just a paper champion.
Anyways, moving on from that, we'll go ahead and get with the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. We got Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston and versus Jeff Hardy. with the way the Edge stuff is going, I can't decide on whether they're really going to put Edge against Roman or if they're just trying to throw us off the scent that Randy Orton's winning this match and we're going to have our Randy and Edge match at WrestleMania.
Please no.
I hope it doesn't happen. I really do. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but that is... I don't see Styles, Kingston, or Hardy winning this match. It's coming down to McIntyre, Sheamus, and Orton. I can't see them.
Randy's
gonna
get screwed over by the Fiend. It's obvious they're building for the Fiend to come back. She's doing a seance with his ashes, like he's coming back. He's going to be reborn.
This is true, but they could also have that happen at WrestleMania. Which would even be even more dumber. But my prediction is Orton wins this match, and I think Edge comes out at the end of the night after everything's said and done. And announces that he's going after Randy.
Okay. I'm predicting McIntyre to win. Do you want to do something a little fun that I just thought off the top of my head? Want to predict the order in which people will be eliminated?
Just for sure.
For shits and giggles?
Hardy, Kingston, Styles, Sheamus, McIntyre.
Okay. Hardy is one for me. Who did you say second for you?
I said Hardy, Styles, Kingston, Sheamus, McIntyre.
I'm going to go... Let's see. We'll go Hardy. I'm going to go on a limb and say Orton second.
No. Orton, they're finishing top three.
Orton, AJ, Kofi, Sheamus, and then McIntyre wins. That's my prediction.
We'll have to keep a tab on that.
Because, the Cold Kofi Mania thing, I think he'll be the second. He'll be the last babyface to get eliminated by Sheamus. Like, at the end of the match, Sheamus will come in and just kick his ass and pin him. But,
could be.
Anyway.
Orton being a Viper. Anyways,
yeah.
Continuing on from that, the Universal Championship #1 contender Elimination Chamber match: Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn versus King Corbin. We already pretty much said this earlier, both of us. Cesaro's winning this match. He's getting the push over right now. It's not going to be enough for a championship holder. But they want somebody who's going to face Roman at the end of the night, that is believable to face him, but not believable enough to win.
I'd say actually just about everyone in this match is believable for that. That's the good thing about this chamber match. Too bad, I'd prefer to be in a championship chamber match, but whatever.
Yeah, I hope they do Cesaro. I don't want to see Kevin Owens. I'm tired of seeing that. Yeah. I don't want to see Bryan get destroyed. Sami Zayn would be a destroying match. And then, look, Corbin, you're a great wrestler. I love watching you wrestle and stuff, and you entertain me every week that I see you. But you're just not made for the title picture.
I can see that, yeah.
Like I said, the only two scenarios I see coming out of this is Cesaro winning and then getting beat to death by, Roman, or Jey Uso winning, and one of two things happening there. Either he's going to walk in and lay down for Roman, or he's going to walk in and be like, I'm tired of taking your shit. We're going to wrestle.
Right. So what's your order?
But order for that match, honestly, I think Uso goes first. Everybody knows he's there for Roman. I think everybody's going to attack him. Do we know who's the last one coming out? Or
no,
did they announce
not on this one. Not on this one.
Okay.
Unless it's AJ. But I'm pretty sure no one has been announced.
AJ.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, AJ's
in the other match, bro.
Oh, I don't fucking know at this point. He's been on Smackdown in the last 2 weeks. So.
I'm gonna say Uso, Zayn, Corbin, Bryan, Owens. Cesaro wins.
Okay.
I think they're gonna let Owens stay down to the last man because it's gonna make everybody think he's going again.
Yes. Because I know WWE hates me. There's two possibilities. One of them.
Say Bryan first.
Bryan first.
No, they can't do that.
Bryan's gonna go out first. Then Owens. Then I don't know. Who am I all missing right now? Who's the other babyface? No, actually, that would leave Cesaro as the only babyface. I don't think they. Do you think they would have Cesaro run a gauntlet on all the heels? I don't think they would.
I can see that. Brian Owens going first. Cesaro has to beat the shit out of everybody because it makes sense.
Let's
think about it.
Yeah,
he has to fight everybody, and then him losing to Roman isn't so bad because he just got the crap beat out of him and still
Fuck
won.
it, that's what I'm gonna go with. Yeah, so we're gonna go with Brian, then Owens, then somehow Corbin, Sami Zayn. No, I think Corbin would be the last guy. So sorry.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, Uso, Corbin, Cesaro wins. And then Cesaro loses,
of course,
and like 2 spears, now, not even 2, probably.
Here's the real question. How much are we betting that Miz comes in after the WWE Championship match and cashes in?
Glad you mentioned this, because I said before we even started recording, I have a prediction for the Miz. I know exactly how his title cash-in is going to happen, and he will win the title.
Think so?
He's going to cash it in at WrestleMania. Edge will beat Roman Reigns, because they've already set this up, really, for Miz to do this, like 2 weeks in a row. Miz will come out. Edge would have done what he said he was going to do and get his title back, and then Miz is going to take it away right then and there.
I'd be okay with that.
I know, in a weird way, I would be too, because again, I think Miz is the only real heel on the roster. So, he's not annoying heel, he's a heel. I think Roman, to a certain extent, can be that. It just depends how much Paul Heyman's on TV or Uso. But really, WWE only has one real heel right now, in my opinion, and that's The Miz.
Fair enough.
That's my predictions for not just this show, but really WrestleMania's main event. I'm predicting WrestleMania's main event on this show. I'll probably mention again when we do that prediction show.
This is more or less like the last full setup, because nobody cares about Fastlane.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's Fastlane.
Fastlane's not going to set up anything for nothing big for WrestleMania. Tonight is deciding everything for WrestleMania.
When you forget the one pay-per-view you've actually seen in person. Like, I forgot Fastlane was a thing. This is like the only pay-per-view I've been in person was a Fastlane in Cleveland.
That's funny.
Or was that Roadblock? They're both dumb. It's the same pay-per-view. It was Fastlane. It's just...
Anyways, guys, that's our predictions for the Elimination Chamber and our reviews of this past week of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night Smackdown.
Yeah, and it was pretty short. It's just...
Yeah. Not too much. I mean, it's a basic show this upcoming Sunday.
Well, it was mostly talking, so there's less to really talk about. And then when we both dislike both shows, it's really hard to go in depth when you really dislike something. Like, some people can do that where they'll rant and rave, and that's not really what I want to do. I don't like to rant and rave when I dislike something, because why do I want to spend that much energy bitching? But I don't know. I know it could be a lot worse because I could not be watching because wrestling was at a point where I wasn't watching like 2 months ago. So, I'll at least give them that. They're at least getting me to watch right now. But
that's our predictions and everything. Remember, you can find our podcast on YouTube, any of the major brand podcasts, Apple, Spotify,
Stitcher.
That one.
I was about to say
basically any of the major ones.
Yeah, maybe Amazon Music. I need to look up on that one.
Yeah, if you are watching on YouTube, on any of them, leave a like, comment down below, let us know what you guys think. If you have any questions,
subscribe to the feeds or channels.
Yeah, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, remember to hit that bell for notifications, so when we post new videos, you know about it. And yeah, I'm Nick,
and I'm Cody.
And you have been watching another episode of the Raw Smack Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for watching.
Deuces.